Hello everybody, welcome back to our jazz tutorial series. Um, I want to start off once again with another apology. This video is coming out late again. We're about 3 weeks behind altogether for this series so far, and I'm having problems with my phone and I'm having problems with my computer. It's very hard for me to get stuff my recordings off of the phone, and I use my phone for my recording. So it's I got like the port is messed up, and I'm having an issue. Like if the wire just jiggles a tiny bit, everything stops. So with 3 kids running around, it's hard to find time to upload, you know, 3 GB videos and stuff like that. So it's making it a little bit hard, and I apologize. I'm actually going to be looking into getting like a dedicated camera to start filming with soon. So hopefully that'll make things a little easier. Um, but anyway, we're going to jump into the lesson, which is it's going to be a weird lesson. I know I told you guys last lesson that we're going to be introducing some new stuff this time around, but we're actually not. It's like I said, I do a lot of stuff. I wing a lot of. I'm just don't do a lot of scripting. Don't do a lot of. At the beginning of this series, you remember we sat down and we wrote out our goals and we mapped out our plan, but things generally need refining all the time. There's always things that you forget and bugs. And one of the things that I forgot about is taking breaks. Um, it's crazy. Like, uh, well, basically for starters, just so like right into the video. So the lesson for this week is to take a week off and take a little vacation for a week. Don't pick up the sticks. Just try to stay away from everything. And I'm going to tell you the reason here. Uh, like I said, things have been, very erratic. And I have my disability, the kids. There's a million things going on. So um, all of that stuff combined, it's getting harder for me to keep up my practices. And another thing that happened was I had started out at 120 and 130 for the warm up. So like I would start out doing the first set of rudiments at 120, then go to 130, and I found out pretty quick within about a week that I was able to go from 130 to 140, to move up to 130 and do 130 for the first set and 140 for the second set, fairly fast. So I kept working out at, trying to get up to 140 to 150, and I was getting pretty close. I was getting, when I did tried to do my 100 bars of paradiddles at 145 beats, I was getting closer with it, and then all of a sudden I couldn't do nothing right. Um, I couldn't hold the 145 beats per minute on paradiddles hardly at all. I was even kind of struggling at 140, and even at 130, like my doubles were even getting a little bit sloppy. So I kind of just took a break, um, and because it kind of made me realize, like, it's like when you're lifting weights and you lift for a day, you stay off for 2 days, so your muscles can repair and rebuild and all that, and with muscle memory, it's similar, but it's just the time frames are different. So it's like you work out like a month, and then you give yourself like a week off, so your mind can just process all the stuff that you've been doing, and just let it kind of organically get its way into the mix. So I didn't think about that when we were mapping it out because it was just but so when I started practicing again about 2 nights ago, I'm like it was like the first night that I picked up the sticks, and dude, I actually did the 145 at 100 bars. I did 150 beats per minute paradiddles, 100 bars of paradiddles, and I got about 65 bars of paradiddles at 155 beats. it's like I'm like ready right now, just like that, to move up to 140 and 150. Like starting out with the first set of rudiments at 140 and then doing 150. Like I'm there, and it actually I feel the slowness between. It's crazy. It's like before it was like a train wreck, and like doing it now, I actually can feel each stroke to a degree. Like it's not perfect, but I see the improvement. And after I practiced the other night, like I was even laughing with my wife, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "It's crazy. It's like I'm moving in slow motion when I'm doing it at 150 beats per minute." And like I said, that's when it kind of hit me that you need to stop in cycles here and there and just let your body process and then come back and redo it. So that's why I decided to make because the next lesson we are going to start introducing. We're going to introduce two new things. One of them is going to be kind of fun, and the other one's going to be more of a like an exercise to learn. But before we do that, let's just take a week off and chill for a minute and let our bodies kind of just learn everything that we've been doing here. Um, I also wanted to mention here that um, if you haven't moved up in BPMs at all, or in the like 5 beats or something like that, because we've been going for maybe 6-7 weeks. We've been going for a little while now, about a month and a half. Um, if you haven't moved up and you've honestly evaluated yourself and you felt like you honestly put the work in, um, it's going to come down to maybe something with your technique. So you want to make sure that your stick heights are staying equal. You want to make sure your sound, the dynamics, is fairly equal in your playing. You want to kind of mirror yourself on either hand. It is to a degree, as much to a degree as you can. You may be starting out too fast. That may be part of the problem. Um, or, like I said, you might just not be watching that stick height and listening to those dynamics, making sure you're using your fingers on your doubles, making sure they're bouncing. Because all that kind of technique is stuff that you're going to carry on to the higher BPMs. So, and if you are doing all that stuff and you still haven't moved up a little bit, like I said, don't really sweat it. Um, you're putting the work in, and just like I said, we all have different learning levels. So maybe you're going to find that it's just something that takes for you a little bit. Sometimes, especially if you've never really worked out with rudiments and stuff like that, it may take a while to get the concept down, and then it just clicks, and you're like, boom, 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 you just start moving up quickly. So, like I said, don't get discouraged. But honestly, evaluate yourself and make sure that you are putting in the work, and evaluate your technique. Make sure you're doing that, and as long as you're doing those two things, and you're pushing yourself. Like you don't want to stay too in your comfort zone, and you don't want to be. We talked about that in the other video about developing our practice speeds. So make sure we're just out of reach, but not too far, and not too comfortable, and just let your body and let time do things, and we'll come back again in another month or so, and we'll reevaluate, and we'll move from there, depending on where we are. But so that's about that for that concept. Sorry about that. So during this time off, I want everybody to take it, no matter where you're at, where you're doing. Just we're all going to take a week off, but we are going to do something in that week off. We're going to be reflecting on how we felt the first part has gone for us. You can leave some comments as far as, I know for me, my comment criteria would be consistency. I needed to make the course more consistent time-wise. Like again, I'm more apologizing for that because I feel really bad about it. And in the future series, we're going to try to plan for that so that doesn't happen anymore. But right now, I'm just trying to keep rolling and crashing through. But anyway, think about putting up a comment as far as what you think that how we could improve this series, and whatever suggestions you may have, and also looking inside too. Have you met the goals internally? Like, how do you feel about this first part of the work? And this is kind of the time, kind of like halftime, where we can start thinking about stuff like, where are we? Did we meet our goals? You know what I mean? As far as for the first part, have we moved up in BPMs at all? Have we moved up a lot, or are we still staying in the same place? And I mean, again, we're all different people with different aptitudes and different things, so there's no real right or wrong. Like, if you're not moving up in speed, you're not, like, something's not wrong with you, there may be something wrong in the technique that you're doing that needs to be adjusted, or you may just be kind of a slow to pick it up. That we're all different. I'm definitely don't pick things up fast. I'm in the lower medium range for myself personally, but it just to honestly reflect on what we did in this first part of the course. And then it's like halftime, we're going to come back out for the second half and try to adjust from our mistakes in the first half to try to really start learning, you know what I mean, and get some, and bring up our drumming education. So, and not even just in a jazz sense, because a lot of this stuff is, right now, we're just doing rudimental stuff. We haven't even really hit the jazz-oriented stuff, so... where are we? And then, okay, where do we want to be? What do we want to change? So we, think about that. Again, we just talked about that, what we want to change and how we want to move forward with the course. And, it's just, time for, a little bit of self-reflection and reflection on the course and all that. So it's time to kind of just take a meeting, take a huddle, take a breather, and adjust. So anyway, that's where we're at with this week's lesson. Like I said, we're just relax and take a week off, and think about the things that we talked about, and be ready when we come back for next week's lesson. We're going to be learning, like I said, 2 new concepts. I don't want to say them right now because I don't want people to start running ahead. So I really just want to, emphasize the time off for people. So that's that. Have a great day, and see you next video. And thanks for watching, and be blessed. Peace. Bye-bye.